The Democratic Republic of Congo finds itself grappling with a resurgence of violence, a situation that has become all too familiar for its citizens. In its troubled eastern provinces, the conflict has escalated, affecting countless lives and destabilizing the region further. This region, rich in mineral resources but plagued by instability, has become a battleground for armed groups vying for control. The wealth of minerals like coltan, gold and tin has attracted various factions, each seeking to exploit these resources for their gain. The latest chapter in this ongoing saga involves the M23 rebel group, whose resurgence has plunged the DRC into a humanitarian crisis and ignited regional tensions. The M23, known for its brutal tactics, has displaced thousands of families, creating a dire situation for those caught in the crossfire. As civilians bear the brunt of the conflict, the international community faces a critical juncture, grappling with how to address the root causes of the crisis and forge a path toward lasting peace. Humanitarian aid is crucial, but so is a long-term strategy that addresses the underlying issues of governance, corruption, and economic disparity. The current crisis harks back to decades of conflict and instability that have plagued the DRC. From colonial exploitation to post-independence power struggles, the nation has endured a turbulent history that continues to shape its present challenges. The country has witnessed numerous rebellions, foreign interventions, and a devastating civil war. Over the years, the Democratic Republic of Congo has been a battleground for various factions, each vying for control and power. The scars of these conflicts are deeply etched into the nation's history and its people's lives. The discovery of vast mineral wealth instead of ushering in an era of prosperity has fueled greed and conflict, drawing in both local warlords and international interests. The rich deposits of minerals like coltan, gold, and diamonds have become both a blessing and a curse for the nation, turning the DRC into a tragic illustration of the resource curse. Despite the immense natural wealth, the majority of the population lives in abject poverty, with little to no access to the benefits of these resources. The eastern provinces, bordering Rwanda, Uganda, and Burundi, have been particularly vulnerable to spillover from conflicts in neighboring countries. These regions have seen some of the worst violence, with communities caught in the crossfire of regional power struggles. The presence of numerous armed groups, some with ties to neighboring states, has complicated the situation. These militias often operate with impunity, exploiting the chaos to further their own agendas. The Congolese government, often perceived as weak and corrupt, has struggled to assert its authority in these remote areas. Corruption and mismanagement have further eroded trust in the government, making it difficult to implement effective policies. This power vacuum has created fertile ground for armed groups to thrive, exploiting local grievances and preying on vulnerable populations. The cycle of violence and exploitation continues, leaving the people of the DRC in a perpetual state of insecurity and fear. The international community, while acknowledging the severity of the crisis, has struggled to formulate a coherent and effective response. Despite numerous high-level meetings and discussions, there remains a significant gap between rhetoric and action. Leaders from various nations have expressed their concerns, yet concrete steps are often delayed or insufficient. The complexity of the situation demands a multifaceted approach, but achieving consensus has proven to be a daunting task. Past interventions, often driven by short-term interests and lacking a comprehensive strategy, have yielded mixed results. Military actions, while sometimes necessary, have often exacerbated the situation, leading to further instability. Humanitarian efforts, though well-intentioned, are frequently hampered by logistical challenges and security concerns. Protests against foreign intervention highlight the local population's frustration and the delicate balance that must be maintained. The United Nations peacekeeping mission in the DRC, one of the largest and most expensive in the world, has faced criticism for failing to adequately protect civilians or address the root causes of the conflict. Despite the presence of thousands of peacekeepers, violence continues to plague the region. Displaced civilians live in dire conditions, and the infrastructure remains in ruins. The mission's limitations underscore the need for a more robust and holistic approach to peacebuilding. As the situation deteriorates, the international community must confront the complex web of actors and interests at play in the DRC. A sustainable solution requires a multi-pronged approach that addresses both the immediate humanitarian crisis and the underlying political and economic grievances fueling the conflict. Only through sustained engagement, regional cooperation, and a commitment to good governance can the cycle of violence in the DRC be broken.